people so they know who God is. So they can get peace in time of trouble, joy in tribulation, contentment where there is hate, and peace where there is turbulence. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, I'm excited about it, okay? Y'all know that I am. Couple of announcements. The 4 a.m. prayer meeting will be, again, the 3rd Thursday in July. It is going to be a great time. We do a prayer journey. And if you want a copy of it so that you can do your prayer journey on your own time, please. Most definitely. And, for example, if somebody says, hey, I want to pray at the church during the week, but this 4 a.m. isn't for me, let me know, because I'll lock this door for you at any time, all right? 2 a.m., 1 a.m., midnight, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. By all means, this place will be open for you for prayer, okay? All right, so we have a leadership team that will be formed, and the email should be sent out this week. You guys will be meeting at an undisclosed location on the July the 6th. When we get our calendar out, it's going to be a great event. I look forward to hearing about it. I'm not on the team, but I look forward to hearing great things as we continue to plan and look into the ministries that are happening at Bell Road Church. With that being stated, without going to the next slide, not yet, I do want to give an accommodation to, and she's not here yet, but I do want to say this, and I'll say it again so you can see here. For everyone that participated in that lock-in, let me tell you what, it was transformative. I wasn't there for the whole thing, but I did have my 2 daughters there, well, all 3 of them were there for a little bit. 2 of my nieces were there, and one of which is my brother's daughter and doesn't go to church and neither had an affinity to go, didn't want to go at all. And after that event, even though she got in trouble a little bit, after that event, when she got back home, the thing that touched me the most was she had a real meaningful conversation with her mother. Now she's 8, about finding a church home and getting involved. That's, to me, meant a lot. Again, for those who know, I've been praying a lot for my brother, and maybe it's not me that turned his life to Christ. Maybe this plants the seed that puts Christ in that household, and maybe that is what does it. And so I am deeply touched and appreciative of that lock-in last night. Tonight, everybody had a good time. I'm sure they'll talk about it more when everybody gets here. But I am deeply moved and excited about it. What a great in-reach and a great outreach that was, because again, my niece is unchurched, but now is on her way back to Kentucky, and the conversation is, we have to find a place to worship. Thank you again, everyone who supported that event. Invited from the church. We all have friends, we all have family, we all have confidants. Find someone and tell them that God is opening doors, that God is saving souls, that this is a place that considers everyone a mission field and will gladly be called to that mission field. Go get the lost, of course, is the main thing. We got to go get the lost. Every day, I see people that don't know who Christ is and have a very terrible misconception about what the church does. You know, we're not all about paying bills. We're not all about, you know, anything other than getting people prepared to meet God. And if that's the only thing we can ever do, and one person comes to Christ, I consider that a life well lived. All right? We have our baptismal service coming up, August the 20th. If God has called you, you've been saved, and God has called you to be baptized, August the 20th is the day that we have set for baptism. I think we had 2 or 3 so far, and I praise God for that. That type of commitment to Christ, and so I'm really excited about that service. And I mean, one particular family is making an event out of it, and I probably want to fill up a whole side of the church because it's an event now on Facebook, and that's what baptism should be about. Like, we have someone being baptized. Everyone who ever knew this person, let's come to church and watch this transformation. The Church of Nazareth has two sacraments, communion and baptism. And what that means is what we see isn't what's happening. That somehow God performs a miracle and what we see isn't what's happening. Like communion, the juice in the bread somehow through the power of the Holy Spirit becomes his blood and his flesh. And baptism, the water, I know it's water from the faucet, but something happens in the spiritual. And it becomes our tomb and our place of resurrection. And something happens to the body and the spirit. And we need to get as many people to see this, that it's still happening. Still happening at the district assembly. You know, they're looking at the numbers of baptism versus membership. And last year, our numbers were nearly 50% of membership and baptism. And what that speaks to is us doing what we're supposed to do and going out there and getting the people who don't know who God is in that way. Getting the untransformed and letting them know about this God who's transformative. Doing what we always say and saying our initial goal is that when you come here, you encounter Christ and you're never the same again. And when those numbers, and I know statistics are statistics, but those tell a story of intentional discipleship, of really teaching the gospel that starts off in Sunday school, that is also included of phone calls and emails and letters and intentional fellowship time. That's what that means. And that shows a sign of a healthy, growing church, a healthy, living ministry, and a spirit that inhabits this place on a day-to-day basis. And I may be railing to some, but it's touching to my spirit. All right, let's get up and hug some.